Hey everyone! Welcome back to Learn English Fluently Academy. We're absolutely thrilled to have you here with us once again. Today's lesson is packed with practical, real-life English that will help you speak with more confidence and fluency. We understand how important it is to not only know the words, but to actually use them comfortably in conversation. And that's exactly what we're focusing on today. Whether you're preparing for an interview, traveling, or simply want to improve your everyday interactions, we've got you covered. We'll break down useful phrases, share helpful tips, and provide plenty of examples so you can start speaking more naturally, just like a native English speaker. So get ready to engage, learn, and practice. This lesson is designed to be fun, easy to follow, and most importantly, practical for your daily life. Grab your notebook, find a cozy spot, and let's dive into today's session. Let's dive in and start speaking clear, confident English by avoiding 5 key mistakes you might be making without even noticing. Ready? Let's go. First up, let's address a common mistake. Boring versus bored. Never say you look so boring. This is a big no-no. It's so rude. Let's clear this up. The word boring describes something or someone that's not interesting. For example, that movie was boring. Or, I went on a date with him and he was so boring. He talked about sports the whole time. On the other hand, bored describes the feeling you have when you're stuck in a situation that's not fun. The emotion you feel. So instead of saying you look so boring, you could say you look so bored. This would mean you're not enjoying yourself. Here's the difference. Boring is about the thing or person that's uninteresting, and bored is about how you feel about it. So let's look at a couple of examples together. This documentary about sand is so boring. I feel so bored. Can we please watch something else? Another example, I was so bored during that lecture. To me, physics is just so boring. So here's a quick quiz for you. Which word should you use in these sentences? Boring or bored? Now fill the gaps, and I'll give you 3 seconds to answer. Our lessons are not, I never feel. I'll give you 3 seconds to think about it. 3, 2, 1. The answers are, our lessons are not boring, and I never feel bored. Next, let's talk about a mistake even native speakers make. Well versus good. Have you ever heard someone say, I don't feel good? That's actually incorrect. It should be, I don't feel well. Why? Because well is an adverb that describes how you feel. For example, I don't feel well. I have a headache. If you say I don't feel good, it means your sense of touch is off. Like, I touched something hot and now I don't feel good. There's an exception. If someone asks, how are you doing? You might be tempted to say, I'm doing well, which is grammatically correct, but it might sound a little formal in everyday conversation. So instead, you can say, pretty good, and you? Even though it's not technically perfect, it's the most natural response in casual situations. Now, time for a mini quiz. Which one fits best? I need to do on the test because I need a grade. Good or well? You've got 3 seconds to answer. The answer is, I need to do well on that test because I need a good grade. Now let's move on to another pair of tricky words. Job versus work. They both refer to your career, but they're used differently in sentences. Work can be both a noun, like my work is as a content creator, and a verb like I work on the marketing team. But job is strictly a noun. So when you say my job is to manage my team, you're talking about your role. And when you say I work on the marketing team, you're describing the action of working. But you can also use both words together in a sentence, like, I work with a lot of interesting people at my new job. And here's a quick tip. When you talk about the place where you work, use the fixed phrase at work. For example, I was busy at work today means you were working at your place of employment. But you wouldn't say I was busy at my job in this case. It's not quite the same. Here's a quick quiz. Which word fits? For my, I need to work late hours. You have 3 seconds to answer. The answer is, for my job, I need to work late hours. Now let's tackle another tricky one. In versus at when talking about time. This one can be confusing because both in and at are used to describe time, but they're used differently. We use at for specific times like at 5 p.m. or at midnight. But in is used for more general time periods like in the morning or in 6 hours. Now let's look at an example together. Can you meet me at noon? That's a specific time. But if you say we'll meet in the morning, you're talking about a broader time frame. Let's talk about a mistake that can affect your confidence when speaking English. The pronunciation of ed endings. You might have noticed that native speakers don't always pronounce ed the same way. Sometimes laughed sounds like laughed, or helped sounds like helped. Why? There are 3 ways to pronounce ed endings. If the verb ends in T or D like decided or waited, the ed sounds like id. If the verb ends in S, K, F, or SH like laughed or watched, the ed sounds like T. If the verb ends in B, M, V, or Z like helped or loved, the ed sounds like D. It might seem tricky at first, but the more you listen to native speakers, the easier it will be to say it very naturally. So ready for a quick quiz? Here are some sentences. Decide if the ed should sound like T, D, or id. She loved, he wanted, they helped, we walked. You have 3 seconds to answer. 3, 2, 1. Here are the answers. She loved, D. He wanted, ID. They helped, D. We walked. And that's a wrap for today's lesson. I really hope these tips have helped you avoid these common English mistakes and boost your confidence when speaking. Remember, it's all about practicing, making mistakes, and learning from them. It's part of the learning journey to fluency. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our lessons. We've got tons of exciting content coming your way to help you speak English more naturally and confidently. Remember, learning English is a marathon, not a sprint. The more you practice, the better you'll get, and soon enough, you'll be speaking English like a pro. Thanks so much for joining me today. See you in the next lesson. Bye for now.